Welcome. Sorry for my English. I'm a French guy. I don't talk very well English. I want to introduce my co-presenter, P.Cotiniere. We are founder of Open Web Solution, Drupal shop in France. And C.Perronnet, also founder of Open Web Solution. And myself, Olivier Fries, I work in Radio France, the French radio group in France. And I also the French Drupal Association president. Okay. Today we make a media site with a different solution, Scalde Galaxy, Drupal Distribution, with taxonomy, menu, content type, and so on. So what is Scalde? It's a Drupal module to easy manage your media assets. For example, image, sound, video, tweet, Facebook status, etc. It's it's for Scalde have different sub-module provider for each type of media. So for make an easy installation, we build Drupal Distribution. Who know what is a Drupal Distribution? Okay, so.
It's you can download Drupal as the core Drupal from Drupal.org, and you can also download packages which include this Drupal core and some extra modules, and these distributions comes with a pre-configured module, so it's really more easy to start with. If you're going to make a media website, you can use Scalde Galaxy. If you're going to make a newspaper, you will use Open Publish. So this is packaged solution with already enabled modules of Drupal.
Yes. So for this presentation, we use Scalde Galaxy, Drupal distribution with Scalde on the middle. Okay, let's go. All the presentations are just site building with Selenium. Okay, so it's just on the. We are just on a website with the Scalde Galaxy distribution installed. So it just. So there are the installation of Drupal basic installation. We need to tap the database name, the database user and password, and submit the form. Okay.
So here, all the core is installed, plus the extra module of the distribution, like Scalde Audio, views.
It's a real-time installation, perhaps. Okay, so this is the basic information page for your website. So we tap the site name. Oh. C'est chaud de pas. Hop. The background. Ah. J'ai pas eu le CV. J'ai pas eu le CV. C'est bon. Okay.
Okay. So just after this step, we will have the Drupal ready to start, and after these two steps, you can already start to put your content, and you have a fully configured Drupal distribution.
Okay, so we submit the form, waiting. Okay, your website is ready to use. Yeah, it's just a basic installation of Drupal Galaxy distribution. Okay, it's to you.
Hi. So now we will create some taxonomy. First we start to create a vocabulary, like sounds. Now we have our vocabulary sound, and I add some terms now. I create another term, tracks. Okay. And now we create a menu item to we point to the taxonomy tracks, to the taxonomy concert.
So yeah, the idea here is to create two taxonomies. This is going to be a music website. So we have two taxonomies, tracks and concert. We're gonna point the Drupal menu to this two taxonomy, and there we're gonna have a list of all the contents that are in these categories. So now Pierre is creating the menus that points to these taxonomies, and then we're gonna create a content specifically for these taxonomies.
Okay, so taxonomy are clear. Now I will create a content type. I create a sound resource. For this content type, we don't want a comment, so I'll close the comments. And I submit. So now we have our new content type sound resource. I will add some fields. And first change the body widget. I changed the body widget to enable the functionality of Scalde for drag and drop some media on the body. After I add a new field soon resource, which is an atom reference, is to reference a media, some like an image or a tweet or other assets. Okay.
So just here, we just checked the atom types that we want into this field. So as this is music website, we checked audio. So we can drag and drop audio medias into this content type.
Now I add a taxonomy term reference to use to filter and to filter the content. I set a default value, tracks.
Okay. So now we have two content types. One is article and one is sound resource. The article will be used to create the home page. We will make a view later for that. And the sound resources will be used. We will use the same content type, but it will be dispatched between the two taxonomies using the last field that Pierre just created. And
Okay, so now I will add a module, Scalde Flickr. This module is done to add some Flickr, to import some Flickr image.
With the Scalde module, you can import into your own library some media that comes from other websites. So you can get images from Flickr, you can get videos from YouTube or Dailymotion. You can get sound from SoundCloud. You can import also tweets. So this is, there is a provider system that allows you to grab this media from all around the web, or you can just use your own images.
Okay, so now we have the taxonomy are created, the content type are okay. So now I will create some content. First I create a sound resource. And now I will use the Scalde library, which is on the right side. Okay. And I will pick an audio file from SoundCloud. I notice the URL. Next. And now I have my resource. I can see my resource on the right side of the library. So now I will drop these resources into my field sound resource. Okay. And we have the resources. I can preview this one. There is no sound, I think.
No.
Okay. Now I submit.
Okay, so we are going. The basic idea of this session is to end up with a fully done website. So we are going to add 4 nodes using different examples of the Scaled library. So now Pierre is going to add 3 more nodes, I think, and then we will build the structure around this example.
Now I will add a video. I open the library. I click on the video picture, the video icon. And I want a video from Dailymotion. I set the URL. Okay. We have a thumbnail of the video. Okay. Okay, it doesn't work. Sorry.
And here you can also directly search on Dailymotion to import the content you want.
Okay, and I can drag the video on my body. What? Here. Okay, so I have my video. And I save. So one more content, I will create a famous track. Okay. And this time I will not to drag my video, my sound on the sound resource here on the field sound resource. I want to drag it into the body too. Okay.
And one thing is that all we imported are also what we call entities. And an entity is something where you can add your own field, like we did to create this sound resources content type. You can also imagine to import something and add your own field and display them. Because as you see down this SoundCloud resources, there is a legend, and you can input also your data there using fields. So it's a common way in Drupal everywhere. You will be now able to add some fields.
Okay, now I will add a Flickr image, and after a tweet. So for the Flickr image, I must set the Flickr API key. Okay, I set a key. And now I will create an article with a Flickr image. Okay.
That's also generic, because usually when you import a new module, you're going to have some config to do for this module. Like here we set up a Flickr API, or later we will use some font modules, and you will have to choose which provider of fonts, like Google Fonts or fonts.com. So when you enable a new module, you will always have this link in the module list to configure it. So sometimes you enable something and you're like, oh, it's not working, configure the module.
So I have import my image. I can also search on Flickr, but it's not in the presentation. Where is my mouse?
Là.
Okay. Okay, I drag my image and I save. And the last article will be a tweet. So I create an article with a title, what's happening on Twitter. I add a Twitter URL. Okay. Okay, and I drag my tweet. There is a preview mode, but on the front it will be different. I save. And now we have some content. After we will change theme and create some views. And now Cedric will. I let Cedric make the last part.
Thank you. Okay, so now we have some stuff in the website. I'm going to use the views module to create the different parts. I will make one home page using views and 2 blocks. And views basically helps you to grab your data from the database without coding SQL and display it on the website. So here I go to structure, views there. I'm going to add a new view. So, okay. So that's my own view. I'm going to show some content of type article, because I want first to make the home page. I'm going to use full post here. So I will have all my full posts on the home page. And here I will enter a path. So I will use home page here. That's the URL where you're going to have your view. So I just continue and edit the view. Okay. So here I have the filters I just entered. So my content is published and the content type is article. I show here some content in full content mode. And so that's it for this page. And I will also add a block. So you see here that my block is defined as the pages, but I don't want in this block some article, I want some sound resources. So I will override the settings of the page in this block. So here I will change the content type for sound resource. And here I will tell that these settings are for this block. So I apply on the display. That's it. And I will save. And now, because we have two kinds of taxonomy in some resources, I will add one more filter on the taxonomy. Okay. So here, this is all the possibilities of filters that you have. So I will search by taxonomy. This is the field taxonomy we created, so I will check this one. I'm still overriding here. I will use an autocomplete. And here, I will select that my filter is one of tracks. So normally, he finds it. And that's done. Okay, I want a second block for my concert. So I will clone this block here. And I will directly have a second block, which for the moment is the same, but here I'm going to change my filter from tracks to concert. And this is for this block. And I'm going to save my view. So now what I'm going to do is tell Drupal that the home page is the URL of this view. So I go to System, Site Information. I'm also going to change my site name, my hip-hop website. And here I will enter the views, the views URL I just declared. So that's it. So if I click on Home, normally, I have the content that Pierre just created. This is given by default by the distribution, so I want to remove it. So I edit it. What is nice in Drupal is that you have this notion of published or unpublished. So I will just here go to the publishing option and click published. And I will unpublish it by clicking here. And then I save. So now we have some content, we have some views, but we have a kind of ugly website. So the idea now is to install a theme. So I'm going to the section of the module, and I'm in the part where I can install from one URL. So I enter the URL of the I grabbed from Drupal.org of the theme I want, and I just click on install. So the theme is installed, and I'm going to enable this theme. So here we are on the appearance page, there, and we have the list of all the themes we have inside our Drupal, and this is the one I just decided to install. So I'm going to enable and set default. Okay, and there on the home, normally, okay, so now we have something that starts to look a little bit better. I'm going to add the blocks I just created coming from the views. So I go to Structure and Blocks. And there, if you don't really know what all these highlighted help, header, feature, content, sidebar first represent, you just click on Demonstrate Block Regions, and there you see where you're going to put your blocks. So it's really practical because all the Drupal theme declares regions, and sometimes it's not so clear where these regions are. So I just exit this block region, and there I find my two blocks defined by the view we just made. So I'm going to put them in the sidebar. There. and I will save my blocks. Okay, so now normally on the home, on the left, I should have this, yes, I have my blocks there. So one thing I didn't do, because we are kind of running out of time, is that I didn't change the type of display of my view. So I'm just going to do it quickly there. So this little wheels allows you to go directly to the edition of the blocks here, or the view, or the content. So I just go back to my view. Here I have the list of the views, and this is mine, so I will edit it. I go to my block, and instead of content, I will just render fields for this block. So fields are the fields that are declared in your content type. So I apply. And here, you see by default it gives us the title of the field. So I will just leave it like that. And here on the home page, I have only now the titles coming from the views. Okay. Now we still want to make it a little bit nicer, so I will install one module that is called Font Your Face. So this is you install modules or theme in the same way on the same page. Well, Istok was explaining before that you can use Drush, which is more like a developer tool. So as I was saying before, you will first enable your newly added module. So you go to the module page where there is the list of all the modules you're using. So don't be afraid, there's a lot, but you get used to that. So I will use Google Fonts API, and these two ones there, which are the main Font Your Face modules. Okay. I hope the Wi-Fi is not going to lunch. Okay. So I'm gonna in the appearance now I have this menu link to Font Your Face. I will enable some fonts. There, so this is all the Google fonts that have been imported. So I will just take one or two there. Okay, and now I'm going to apply this font to some style of my website. So this is there. So you can see here I can choose on which HTML tag I will use my font. So for example at H1 here, and for this one I will directly use some CSS coding. So this should change the policy of the title of the website. So there now, if I go here, okay, we see there that the font I just chose was applied to this part of the text. So this is it for font face. And now I will just talk really quickly about user permissions, because now I'm full admin of the website. And sometimes I won't be the one that will manage it. You will have a customer, and you don't really want always to give him the full powers on the Drupal website. So there is a user permission system based on roles. So you will give some roles to your user. So here I'm going to create one contributor, and I will add the role. I am myself administrator at the moment, and anonymous users are people who didn't register on the website, and authenticated users are the basic role of people that get logged in. And here I will edit the permissions for this specific role. So these are all the permissions that are defined by the Drupal modules, and you will check the one you want to give to this user. So I will just enable some. I'm actually using for this demo one system that is called Selenium, which allows you to replay some already programmed movement in a website. So this will check my boxes normally. Is it doing it? Emma?
Yes.
It checked? Okay. And yeah, it should be checked, but that's the principle. And then I will just enable the dashboard module. The dashboard module allows you to make a little dashboard for your contributor. So that's a web page where you're going to go to administrate the website, and where you're going to put some blocks for his administrative task. So I just enable this dashboard module. Here. And now I have here a new link which is called dashboard. And I will customize it, and every user can also customize his ones. Right. So I just take my blogs there, like who is new and who is online, and I'm done. So when I log in as a contributor on my website, you can configure him to go directly there, and you will see the new content, the new post. You can also create a view and add the block defined by the view here. So it's nice for making stuff easy to your customer, because sometimes you can really get lost in all the pages we just show. And so I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to log out. And now we have... non, j'ai pas créé. So we have the tracks here that links to the tracks taxonomy with our two contents. We have the concert here. Same. We have some media in that can be played in our content. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I go back to this. So for this presentation, we use Scalde with SoundCloud, Flickr, Dailymotion, and Twitter. We have also downloadable on Drupal.org, YouTube, Facebook, Vimeo, Flash, images, and we're going to have soon some more. You can get the Selenium files of this demo if you want to replay it, because I know we were kind of fast. So you have every step we did. You just download the zip. You download the Selenium extension for your Firefox, and you just set up Drupal Galaxy on some vhost, and then you can replay what we just did for this website. And we would like to have some help also, because we are developing this Scalde module. So if we are open to contributors, if you have bugs, just feel free to send them on the issue queue on Drupal.org. We will answer. And I think that's it. That's it. So thank you. If you have any questions, or I hope you are not too angry. Yeah.
So can you tell us more about distribution? You Because can we just install the modules? I saw you got a lot of modules like Scald YouTube, Scald Dailymotion, Scald Twitter. Is it like package or just a distribution?
If you download Scalde Galaxy, you will have all the children modules of the Scalde project because we packaged it like that. Usually a distribution is packaged for a type of website. So if you if you go to Drupal.org, there is a section about distribution. Should be in download there, and there we have the most installed distribution. So you have this commerce distribution, the Open Publish, Drupal Commons, and then you can.
That's okay, but if I don't want distribution, I just want to install modules.
If you don't want the distribution, you get Drupal core, and then you download modules by modules.
I can do it.
So if you want just basic Scalde with YouTube, you just download Scalde plus the Scalde YouTube provider, and that's
okay.
all. So that's
okay.
But now there's a lot of distribution, so it's not such a bad idea to start with that, because there's less work doing that. Yeah.
Hi, thanks. I was just wondering, what's the, you probably get this question a lot, but what's the, if you would have to talk to developers or someone who's worked with media and Scald, what's the advantage over media? Why would someone choose Scald?
You can basically do a lot of stuff with media like this, but our idea by creating Scalde was to have something really packaged and that works out of the box. So you don't have, okay, you will download some providers if you want YouTube or Twitter, but just the Scalde module runs all that by himself. So you're not having the media, this media gallery, for example. This will already be included into Scalde. And the other point is an historical point, because we had this famous customer, which was Radio France at that period, and the media module was not so evolved that now. So since, I think that since like 2 or 3 months ago, you cannot really import tweets into media. And we wanted to manage a more wide variety of what we call media today, because our assets for Scalde can be graph, can be some Google Analytics, Facebook status. It's more wide than the file types.
But is this something that the media module is simply just not capable of handling, even without extending? Because to me it seems, I know that media has a really bad history of, well, the media module's management hasn't been the greatest, let's just say that. And I know that collaboration can be difficult. But I was wondering, why start a completely new module as opposed to creating new handlers, for instance, for media, so that it does what you want it to do? Or if you want a packaged solution, you could take media and create a distribution around it, just like you've done with Scald Galaxy. So
I think we're going to be really technical there, but there is some really basic design issue that makes the two solutions not compatible.
So what sort of design? So this is actually what I was really interested in. What's the major architectural difference between media and Scald?
We don't rely on the file field. We have entities for each Scalde type. So we have a video entity, we have an image entity, and all that doesn't rely underneath to this file entity. So that we don't want all files to be imported into Scalde, so that's the gap between our
I see. One thing, I was looking into the module, and I'm sorry, I don't want to hold anyone up if there are more questions, but what are these called contexts, and what's the difference between a context, like scaled context, and the build mode or view mode for entities?
I think that's pretty much the same. For build mode and context. I think that's pretty much the same. Now you can add some context. I'm not the main developer of this solution, but now you can add build mode context directly in the UI, and then you can right-click on the image, for example, and apply one context to that. So I think that's pretty much the same.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Can you also use Scalp for YouTube gallery?
Yeah, sure. You just if I go back, basically you have YouTube, out of the box you have YouTube, Vimeo, Dailymotion. And I think we're gonna make some Vine stuff soon. And if you are a developer and you want to create your provider, that's a few hours of work. That's not really a big API, that's 5 or 6 functions that you will put together to tell, okay, you grab that there, you have an API that works like that, and then you will say, okay, you show it like that. Basically, that's the provider work in this API. So where you take that or you display it, and that's pretty much it. So one new provider, I think the Twitter provider was 5-6 hours coding, debugging included. So that's pretty fast. And you don't have to learn all the stuff that is working behind.
Does it work with the insert and the image resize filter modules?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
Because
it's working with the edit module.
Insert module is a module when you have a widget with a button, you insert the image inside of the body, and it's connected with the image resize filter, which if a picture has a resolution of, I don't know, 3000 pixels, when you resize the image, like drag and drop, when you resize the image, it automatically resizes the image, so the output is not a large image, you get a resized image. And I've been using media module, and this implementation of the insert module is not yet implemented, so I was wondering maybe...
there is, I think, a mechanism inside Skydly that would do the same as the insert module, because you can say, okay,
So when you import an image from Flickr, and the image is very large, and you resize the image, so the image gets, the output of the image gets smaller. If you resize it, I don't know, if you understand what I...
Yeah, I understand what you mean, but there is not this is not done by...
You don't have an option to drag and drop for the resize, to resize the image.
There is a context of display behind, and you can apply context which...
So predefines.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
And this behind, for images, it's image cache, which is the mechanism of the source. So that.
Thanks.
So you can with the right click edit atom properties. So for image, there was some name, but you imagine some other features, other assets, other type.
Okay. So you can crop it also.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Okay, so I will say Dobertek.